Welcome everyone to the Charter Township of Washington Budget Workshop of 26-27 Budget Workshop for the Charter Township of Washington. Today is a special budget workshop, so it's not a regular meeting. No business can be voted on today. Today is more an informational meeting. Before we begin, if you could all stand and please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will have open comments. If anybody from the public would like to address the board, you'll have 3 minutes to state any of your comments. That'll be held at the end of the meeting. Welcome everyone to the 26-27 Budget Workshop. Today we're going to highlight the enterprise funds, which consist of the Water and Sewer Department and the Building Department. Some of this I've explained the other night at our regular meeting, kind of high level. These are the developmental stage residential subdivisions that we do have. They are still in developmental stage. As you can see in red, you'll see the number of units available in each of these units. In the building stage, these are the existing subs that have been approved years ago that still have a number of units left in their development. Newberry South is the one that's currently being built behind the Rite Aid there at 26 and Van Dyke, behind a commercial building that they're building also. So that's the newer one out there, as well as Seven Lakes. That kind of began last year, that Overlook Drive, and there's about 10 units left there. All the other ones are kind of like onesies, twosies still that are left. Viridian Phase 1 has about 10 units left, but on the developmental side, you'll see Phases 2 and 3. That's the newer sub on 26 by Hayes. Traditionally back in the early 2000s, late 90s, the township was producing over 250 permits a year. I like to show this graph because everybody thinks we're building tons and tons. As you can see in the late teens of the I don't know if that's a proper term, from 2015 to 2019, you'll see we were in the over 200 range. 2020 came obviously with COVID between 20 and 21. That was a slight decrease even though the permits were pulled, and 22 was kind of the catch up of all that. The last 3 years, the permit numbers have been, as you can see, under 100. The current fiscal year, we are right now at about 100, right, Dave?
Yeah. So
we're going to see a slight tick up there. The permits by trade, I like to show this. I just went back 5 years, but these are the plumbing, the mechanical, electricians. These three are subbed out. They're considered contract employees. They come in when we have specialized permits in plumbing, mechanical, electrician. As you can see, it kind of peaked in 22 because there was a lot of catch up from the COVID year and a half before. I kind of use this to kind of gauge the number as well with the permits that we do have out there. So as you can see, it's kind of tapering back together again. Mechanical and electrician, and the plumbing is kind of consistent over 200. A lot of this too is not just dependent on new development. It could be remodeling and improvements of the house as well. I kind of went over some of these the other night, but the past year, we did have, in the Village District, technically kind of out of it, but the ZF expansion was huge for the Building Department. The former Rite Aid at 26 and Van Dyke, that is being converted to a 2 or 3 unit. The former Hampton House, which will be called Washington Place, that's currently being renovated. Newberry South, like I just mentioned, there'll be a commercial front with some multi-units behind there. Washington 27, again, another multi-tenant commercial that's along with the stand-alone drive-through next to it, just north of 27 by the roundabout. The northern part of our township, again, the new Art and Jake's Retail Center with 3 buildings and a drive-through. Washington Romeo Medical Building is pretty complete. I mean, it's getting complete, I should say. They've done the parking lot, the outside, and now they're working on the inside. Leo's Coney Island is The same thing, they're finalizing the inside. The Sheena's Fuel Station / drive-through is the former Rite Aid at 31 in Van Dyke. Mr. C's Car Wash, where the Capitol Banquet Center was demolished, and now they'll be building that this year, Mr. C's Car Wash. Romeo Square Commercial Condo, this is next to the Arby's in front of the old Kmart strip mall there. There'll be some outlot buildings there. And Washington Parkway Industrial Condo. This is the interior drive at 30 and Powell. Paul Bowers owns these properties and has them marketed for an industrial area in that area. Developmental stage, non-residential, the northern part of the township, Michelangelo Retail has an acre there. They're going to put a nice building there for office. I don't think it's retail, I think it's office, sorry. Romeo District Library, the Grubner Library is adding on this year. Samaritan House is adding an accessory building. And then I kind of recapped, again, not to repeat it, I explained them last night, all the new businesses in 25, I have them listed there. This is the revenue that we've had the last 4 years in planning and zoning. Some of this obviously determines what's going to happen to the building department. So I have that 2020 obviously as an outlier because we were practically shut down that year. Again, I put, these are things that we always got to keep in mind are obviously the economic factors. We do have 3 Rite Aids. The 26 in Van Dyke does look like now it's going to be going into a 2-3 unit. The 29 in Van Dyke one, that is one that we actually have a consent judgment on. And that one, there's a lot of interest in it, but there's a lot of concern. People do not want to rent from the new owner because of the consent judgment. 31 in Van Dyke, there's again, it's not proposed anymore, but it's the split, again, the Sheena's, the gas station. The Andiamo's in the Mediterranean, 2941, both have closed down. So those are up for sale. Salvation Army relocated across the street, so the old Salvation Army is empty. The Myers on 32, this was approved back in 2016. Their PUD did lapse, which is now part of that rezoning that's been before the Planning Commission currently. Stellantis, which last year at this time, they were going to present bringing a logistics center there. That has gone away to Van Buren Township. So that's why you hear Prologis a lot. Prologis brought this project last year before the board for Stellantis, and now they are coming back for another rezoning. Some economic opportunities of this past year was Myers did a massive $6 million renovation to upgrade the store. And again, ZF Corporation with the former TRW. This was a huge win for the township because they were looking to relocate possibly in Bruce, but even out of the country. And we got them to stay here. They did an $80 million investment. Not only they retained all the jobs, but brought another 80 high school jobs, and it was a 100,000 square foot addition. So for this year, we are looking at doing 100 permits a year. Again, this is a little lower than in the heyday, but this does allow the building department to stay more on code enforcement throughout the township. We do like a 3-step with the code enforcement. Somebody will come in and file a complaint. Usually our building official or building inspectors, they'll go out, they warn the person, they give them about 10 days to 2 weeks to fix the issue. 9 times out of 10, it's corrected on the first visit. After that, we send another letter, we visit them again. By the 3rd time, if that happens, then we issue a ticket. Again, we have what, about close to 300? I mean, I think we only got 2 or 3 that went to that far. 5 or 5, yeah. So again, about 80% within the first letter are corrected, another 10% by the second, the final 10 by the third, and then out of about 300, we're keeping a log for the last few years. Like you said, we have 4 or 5 that are the problem child, per se. Again, we've done a lot in the building department with online, with our website. We accept payment now online the last few years. We have a generic email that shares the information on all the admins in the department. So it's, if one person is not at their office that day, another person can jump on. We've done fillable forms online, which have helped expedite rather than people coming in and filling out paper the old-fashioned way. We've cross-trained in there. We are getting the new BSNA, which is our software cloud, on April 1st. Today was actually a day the building department went out to Chesterfield Township to visit their building, their counterparts in Chesterfield, to look at the system. They've been very excited about it. They were all bragging when they got back. Next week, I'm actually sending them to Clinton Township and get another view from their side. Our field inspectors are now using tablets for the last couple of years. This helps speeds up the process from paper forms, and once they put it in the tablet, it goes right into the system rather than the old-fashioned way of waiting for the paper. So here's an overview of the budget for the building department. This is an overview of the revenue. Last year, as of 3/31, they brought in total revenues of $1.5 million with expenditures of $809,000, which they had a net revenue of over $760,000. We were conservative. The current budget at $1,089,000. We've actually surpassed it currently with about 86% of the budget in at $1.4 million. We had estimated a revenue this year of only $27,000. Right now, it's at $505,000, but again, we still have another 3 months of the year left with, there's still some bills to come in and possibly more revenue. But if we close the books today, right now, that's how it looks. And for the upcoming year, again, I'm projecting for the upcoming year at 100 permits at $1.2 million revenue with a $1.1 million expenditure, roughly at around $33,000. The major outlier that continues to rise is the fringe benefits, which is kind of the second item from the bottom. Last year we had a 29% hike in insurance, which was very huge. This year there's always an increase in health benefits, but this year we've gotten it down to about 11 to 12%. So that helps bring it down. And for 27, we're projecting 110 permits. And again, the outlier again is the fringe benefits. We did put some room in here. The two inspectors and the department head each have a truck that they use. The one inspector truck is getting to the end of its life. He's been asking a couple of years about it. It's about 100,000 miles. It still has the old-fashioned window crank on it. We did call what do they call that company that are rich? It's where you buy government trucks. We can get a pickup truck for about $47,000, which is about $20,000 cheaper than just going out to a dealership and buying it. It's kind of the municipal rate. So that's on their wish list to do, to buy a new pickup truck. The old pickup truck, we still think it's salvageable. I'd like to keep it as our fleet, just to do they do the maintenance around here, plowing in the wintertime during off hours, so it would be good for winter use. The other thing we'd like to look into, we looked into building an actual garage here. We have it prepped in our parking lot to store the two trucks and for storage as well. And we put it out to bid. It was over $350. It was crazy, the price for a 3-car garage. I couldn't believe it. Dave thinks he can do it in-house. I told him to put a plan together to present to the board this year, and he thinks he can get it under a couple $100,000. Again, we're our own bully to codes. The big ticket item is brickwork, obviously, but right. I don't think we want to build a building without brick, but this is all stuff we can discuss this year as we go along. DPW, we went over this. This is another beast in itself, and all the money goes underground. You don't see it. So some of the projects are the forced main sewer, which is about $100,000. The new DPW building, which right now more than half is bonded at $16 million. The internal road is something, I put this as a possibility. Again, this is the 30 acres we have at 30 and Powell, to split the 30 acres to put an internal road and subparcel it, or we can try to go to market and sell it as 33 acres as one lump sum. The meter change out, I think that's about 90,000 there. So there's about 200 a year. This is the last year, or no?
Yeah, pretty close to it.
They're pretty close to the end here. The new hydrants, the same thing. I think there's 100 left. There's about 85,000. Van Dyke That's the part of the township that has no water or sewer from 28 to 29 mile, which is attracting a lot of people wanting to build storage units there. Rather than having a mile of storage units, I propose bringing water and sewer up there to help diversify that commercial corridor there. The SCADA upgrade is $50,000. That's yearly. Our Jewel Road lift station, we did have a study last year by Fishbeck Engineering. This is the pump station outside of Liberty Woods subdivision there between 26 and 27 on Jewel. This pump is way beyond its life. A simple fix to fix it for now is around $2.5 million. There's a lot more expensive features, but I think this is the right choice to do. Fishbeck will be in to meet with the board to go over all the options. The wastewater treatment plant tank covers, I've been asking for this for about 7 years. That's about $125,000, just to help prevent people from, hopefully, obviously humans not, but even deers or any animals can fall into it. And then there is a subdivision behind it, and I'm sure the smell eventually will bug them. Sewer manhole replacement, that's about $350,000. Future capital projects, always in the back of our mind, is possibly the water line on 31 mile and the water line at 28 mile. Those are on John's list. I'd like to continue doing the partnership with the county drains. This is a really good partnership we have. I probably repeated this a lot, but they get rid of these phragmites and the overgrowth or dead trees in the creeks. They basically come in, plow it out, and it helps, obviously, the water flow and any flooding issues in our township. DPW, water and sewer. Again, this slide was always put in just to explain all the expensive equipment we have with the department that's been stored outside and still is, especially with these sub-zero degree temperatures. It takes the workers 40 minutes to an hour to get the truck warmed up because these trucks are all water. And then these are expensive pieces of equipment, not to let them, we'd rather prolong their life, put in a proper facility. This is an overview of the building we just approved with lots of area for growth, and there's area to grow it in the future if we need to in the future. This is an overview of the budget. Last year, there was revenues of $13.8 million. With cost of around $12 million, there was a revenue of $1.8 million in the water and sewer fund. Again, both the water and sewer and building funds are kept separate, and they're both enterprise funds. The current budget, we have it at $13.9 million revenue with costs at $13.5, still showing a net gain. Currently, we're at about 83% of the year. Right now, revenues are at 11.3, so it seems like we're on target for revenues. Costs are 8.2, which are actually below, but again, there's still costs out there. So for the requested budget, we are looking at $14.5 million. I have the exact number there, I'm just rounding. With costs at around $14 million, still showing a profit of over $500,000 there, $540,000. And in line with that, for year two soft budget at $15 million revenue with cost at $14.5 million, still showing about $544,000 profit. Again, you'll see fringes are creeping up, which is hitting their account as well. This is a 2-year capital improvement budget. Rich, the DPW, and Mike Kozak, our engineer, always reviews this. These are some of the projects you guys can look over, highlighting over the next 2 years items. Some of these items carry over from year to year. Some are new, some are, most of us just carry over probably, right, Rich? We try to put more than we can do every year, but you'll see that. This is kind of a 5 and 10 year forecast, just things that are down the line that, just to keep kind of a radar out of items that we may need to do in the next 5 to 10 years. And so I kind of summed it up pretty fast. This is our first session on enterprise funding. I know I threw a lot of information at you guys. If there's certain items you want to dig into or look at, I can email the whole board, so I'm not just answering one of you. And, you're free to bring it back at the next budget workshop, and we can discuss more in depth as well. Or feel free to reach to Dave or Rich. They probably can answer you faster than I can.
I can feel you looking at
Sam, are we doing a bond for the DPW building? Because you got a $4 million.
I know I brought it up the other night. Our current bond that we just went out last year, the big chunk of that was for the building. At the time, I thought it was a good idea to use some of the fund balance that we do have. It's called Utility Financial Services, UFS. They do not only us, but a lot of other municipalities. They check our water rates, our sewer rates, and they check our system. Again, we're considered a newer community, so a lot of our pipes are newer. You get into an older community like Warren, they have more pipe repairs, water breaks. Like normally we get one water break. Knock on wood, it hasn't happened so far this winter. So hopefully it doesn't happen. But last year we had one, but it's not common for us. Maybe in the next decade that'll become more common, possibly. But they came back with a recommendation to bond the other half rather than, they said, why tie, our interest rates are so low, you're better off to bond it, the remaining, and then keep the fund balance, basically.
It's just, I see the $4 million line item on here for the DPW building. Isn't it?
Well, because we're not going to pay all of it up front. I mean, we're going to be paying chunks as we go along.
Okay.
So, I mean, I know they're shooting to get it done between 14 to 16 months, but, I mean,
Okay.
It's a big project. I mean, I would estimate at least a year and a half out, the project. But if we do decide to do the bond, that's about a 90-day period. So we have time to go forward. The item that scares me the most is the Jewel pump station. That's why I need Fishback to come back and talk to all four of you to explain the project more in depth. There's many options. There's a very, very expensive project. I mean,
We saw
proposal.
those. We saw those.
I know some of you guys have already seen.
We didn't see the low-cost proposal.
Yeah, and I want to look at the whole thing. Obviously, the engineer is going to go, I think, the highest way. I mean, there's got to be a sweet spot. And I think with the bond, it would be smart to maybe put this portion on the bond as well. But that's my thoughts. Again, once you guys understand the project a little bit more in depth, then we'll bring them back to the board to talk.
You got to decide which way.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting.
that's probably the oldest piece of infrastructure in the township. It's about 40-some years old. It wasn't designed to handle that side of the township, basically, and it's been overworked for 40 years. So the age is a little bit, but it's been overused more than it was supposed to. Back in the Anthony Morocco days, they were supposed to bring sewer up Hayes Road. That never came to fruition, and so this pump station's taken on a lot more than it was supposed to, basically. I mean, in layman's terms.
These bonds that we're issuing, are they, 10-year or 20-year? Do you know what they are?
Normally, we do 20-year.
20-year?
I just had an initial talk with the bonding company. They said this one's more attractive because it's one project. They recommend, the one we just did, they recommended we should have done separate bonds for each one. It's just when the public hears it, they kind of get leery, like, why are you doing so many bonds? So we've just done in past practice, always grouped them in one big bond. It also makes it attractive, too, because they want to see one big project, too. But this one's a lot cleaner. It's just DPW. It's easier. Again, if we have to pay cash, we have the cash. So if the board decides, no, we'd rather pay cash, I always explain it. It's like a mortgage. Do you want to pay your house off, or do you rather pay it off over 30 years? Obviously, pay maybe higher interest in a house, but here, because we're a municipality, we get lower interest rates. So we're still getting between 3 to 4%, which is a lot better than obviously out in the public.
So would you want to put the pump station on with the DPW building, or are they two separate bonds?
No, I think I would like to put them together.
Yeah, but you got to wait and see which.
You would put those together?
With the pump station.
I mean, so I'm looking at roughly like anywhere between 10 to 12 million. That would be the bond to do both. This would leave his fund balance alone in theory, and then we would pay it off over 20 years. And then I'm sure in 20 years, there's going to be another pump station that's going to need to be fixed. It's not,
You just want to see how they're
the
going to end
pipes
up.
get old too, not just us. but-
So probably be issuing more bonds before the bonds are paid off, right? More than likely.
I mean, I don't foresee anything. No, I'm talking about in 20 years when these
Okay.
bonds are paid.
Okay, all right.
We can always pay early, but we have to keep them for 10 years minimum. But after the 10-year mark, you can always pay them upfront if you want.
Okay.
Again, it's the same thing. Do you want the cash in the bank or do you want to pay it?
Drawing interest on that money also in the bank, right?
Yeah, and
You know,
there's actually a benefit if we don't use the money and we draw interest. It not only helps us, it helps other bond owners too. So you probably understand it better than me.
Yeah,
You do.
makes sense.
You do this every day.
No, it makes sense.
But it's, I mean, both this fire station and this DPW are both, I mean, these are assets that are going to obviously last the next 50, 60 years. And if we take care of them, I keep saying 80 to 100 years. I mean, our current DPW is 50 years old and it's, you know, we've done so much work to it and it's not,
No, I guess
again, it's a glorified garage. It's not a
I guess my question was more like,
three-car garage.
if we do a bond, but you have $4 million in here for the,
Yeah, that would go away basically.
that would
You'll
go
see the
away. So
payments
this
for it.
budget line, bottom line would be a lot less then, right?
Yeah, it would be less, yeah. Well, I mean, you would see the payments obviously for the bond.
But, right, there would be payments, but not $4 million.
No, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, right now I'm taking it that we're paying half cash, half bond right now. I mean,
So if we do the bond,
I
does
can't
that,
assume what you guys are going to decide.
if we end up doing a bond, does that
90
free
days.
up money for other projects?
I'm
Or is
sorry, what?
it- if we do the bond, does that free up money for other projects, or do we
Well,
just have a lower
That's
budget?
where, I think Treasurer nicely said it at the board meeting, but yeah, I mean, if we do get a pipe break that we don't know about, at least we got the cash sitting there, we can fix it, and I don't have to scramble and try to find cash in another area, you know?
Okay.
So, I mean, again, it's nice to have liquidity in your back pocket to fix, you know, unexpected items, you know?
Okay.
I'm saying like that sewer on Hayes that we had last January, we weren't expecting that to break. I mean, that was unheard of. And then that piece of pipe was only made in Texas and we had to wait for it to be shipped here. I mean, you know, that pipe should have lasted another 10 or 20 years, not now, you know. But, you know, we did do that study this year. They basically thought it was a fluke. They thought maybe when they put the pipe down 40 years ago, maybe it rested on a rock and over the years it just eroded the pipe. They don't know, you know. It's just an odd fluke thing that happened. Again, nobody understands why we have sewer pipe in Macomb Township, but that's another, that's a longer story. I mean, the other, the sewer, I think you have it on this list, but we're controlled, we call it the Garfield Interceptor. So the Garfield Interceptor. So all of our sewage goes down to 26 and Hayes where we have that, it looks like a little house there. That's where all the pumps are. And from there, it's pumped down the Hayes Road from 26 to 23 on the Macomb Township side. From there, it hooks up to 23 and goes down Garfield all the way to downtown Detroit. It's a blessing and a curse. That's what's helping keeping our township rural, because if we expanded the pipe in diameter, we would have to rezone that whole eastern part of the township would explode with development. That's what's keeping it controlled, because we can't rezone that area to smaller parcels that would attract obviously more usage of the sewer. So, but to enlarge that pipe, we're talking multi-million dollars. So obviously we don't want to pay for that, and developers don't want to pay for that. So that's, you know, to me, it's a good thing. It's helping to control our responsible development here in that eastern part of the township. But again, that Jewel pump station again is an issue because it took on Autumn Creek, is the right name? Autumn Creek should have never been on this pump station, but it's taking it, and you're talking, what is it, a couple hundred homes in there?
Yeah, that takes 90% of the township sewer.
Yes, I mean, it's taken a beating over the years from Autumn Creek. That was part of them.
So the repairs to the Jewel Road pump station will keep us where we need to be, but it won't expand our sewer district, will it?
It's basically, well, I mean, Rich can explain it better than me, but right now it's kind of dangerous. You have to go underground if there is an issue to fix the pumps.
Right.
This will bring it above ground. It's cleaner, it's easier, faster. And it fixes the pump issue, obviously.
But it doesn't increase our capacity.
No, yeah, I'm sorry, it doesn't
Keeps
increase
us
it.
operating, but we won't be. a
Yeah,
large
exactly,
sewer
yeah.
district.
I mean, another thing to keep in mind is we have Carriage Hills, north and south. Those are both huge subs, and we don't know what the future holds. If that land should go sour, they can't do septic fields, we have an obligation to bring them sewer then. And that's more sewer that we have to put on these lines.
Right, but would it be?
Not that I'm sure the residents don't want it either, but if the soil gets bad after, so many years.
Does replacing the pump, is there sufficient capacity if that was the case?
Yeah,
They're
right.
gonna,
Or would we need to?
she's gonna talk to you, she's gonna show you where switching the style of the pump station first, to make it a safer pump station, more capacity, different size pumps, but then she's gonna come to you and say, which one do you wanna do? You know, you still have that possibility of putting sewer on the ground if you don't do this, you know? Or do we go down 27 Mile Road? Or do, different things.
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
more expensive
No, I
ways
know.
to fix it, obviously, but
I saw those. I just was curious if we replace the pump, does it have the capacity to handle Carriage Hills or not?
Well, we're gonna.
Or we would need to do more?
Yeah, it's all gonna be capacity to handle it. But it's what we decide on first, to see how big you wanna make the pumps. We don't wanna oversize the pumps,
Right. Got it.
So,
and
actually,
then,
look at
I don't know,
the
the current pump station, I mean, are the modules, Rich? Are the current pump station, I mean, is the
All the-
actual,
All the controls are down in the.
In the
right with
underground,
the
yeah.
Pumps, so if something goes, everything goes.
sorry,
I was looking at the DPW budget up there, looking at the S-36 line item, sewer and water system. Looks like we had a significant drop from the previous year, only 5 million in expenditures. Did we have a good year, or are we pushing a project off?
well,
or
that's,
What is the,
that's year to date, there's a lot of stuff still
I-
coming in.
that's what I was wondering,
Yeah.
how much do we still have coming in the next month and a half? So,
I never like to look at year-to-date activity because this is government accounting. That's another beast. Like, a lot of stuff doesn't hit till March 31st. So I don't put a lot of stock. I mean, it's a good gauge on a lot of things, but I think it's going to go back up. It'll be more back in line. I mean, if you looked at last year at this time, it was the same amount. So,
we're not having a good year, we're just waiting for the bills to come in.
yeah, we're waiting for the bills, yeah. A lot of things are held up either with Giffords or Fishback or
Okay.
Spalding or whatever the case is, yeah.
When we
Not
meet-
Spalding.
When we meet with Fishbeck, are they also ready to give us a report on their findings on our capacity, where we're at?
Yeah, that, hopefully at the next, probably maybe a March board meeting?
Yeah.
I want them to come back. They got the reports, they're almost done, so they should. I mean, that we didn't get a final
No, not yet.
thing, but
It's
yeah.
coming. It'll probably be all at the same time, close, like Sam's saying.
Yeah, I mean, it should come in either at the same meeting as this or the next meeting, yeah.
It all ties
So
into-
for the public that's watching, we did do a study. We did it, 4 or 5 years ago?
This one was just last year, but.
Yeah.
five-
Before that, we did, but it's to check the capacity of, if the sewer can maintain the amount of water amount of sewage that's being discharged, I should say. And then we try to obviously manage all the runoff water, so the more we can control runoff water into the sewer system, the better it is as well, too. So they can calculate that as well, how much. What do they call that, stormwater? I want you guys to ask Dave questions. Dave's waiting to answer questions.
Can you build a garage?
What color's the brick?
Yeah. Yeah, is that,
It's going to have a coffee maker in there.
well, obviously, it's not cheap, but what would we need it for, and where would it be here?
I can store 3 trucks, the plows, the salt. I just trying to get everything out of the weather.
Okay,
But do we need that in addition to the DPW building we're building?
What do you mean?
I know where he's going.
The old building?
No, he's saying like you can go to the DPW building, pick it up. It's more of a logistics thing. They're here. They have to manage the parking lot off hours.
They have room for me. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
And they use those trucks for their inspections.
Well,
so your staff needs vehicles here?
Say
Right
that
now,
again.
I mean,
Your
if-
staff needs vehicles?
Yes.
Okay,
I mean, if you
Oh.
drive by, you'll see the trucks are always parked here after hours.
yes.
Okay, so even with the new DPW building, vehicles would still
Yeah,
be
we're
here?
always- yeah, we're-
They'd still be
Yeah.
here? Okay.
So we have a quirky rule with the Parks and Rec from 8 to 5, we do the snow plow, the salting. We take care of it. After 5 PM to 7:59 AM, Ron White handles the building. So, and it always snows right at 7:59 and at 4:59, so
They're the neighbor out there.
we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
But he thinks he can sub it out. When we did put it out to bid, you know, each company actually lists how much profit they're posting, so if he's able to manage it in-house for a lot cheaper, you know.
That would be right here on this property?
Yep, right between the lands, all in here.
We actually,
See that,
when,
there's a blue water line there?
yeah,
Water's
Yeah.
already there, sewer's there.
Oh,
yeah. So when we redid the parking lot 2 years ago, we prepped it for electric, water,
Oh.
everything, sewer. So I mean, the
That should help the cost.
infrastructure's already in. There's no issue with that.
that should help keep the cost down.
We can wash our trucks there.
They'll never have to step foot in the building again.
But my point is, you would need that building in addition to the new DPW building. It wouldn't,
Yeah, because they're
Yes.
more here, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, right now we have a little 10 by 10 tent in the back,
Plastic shed,
we have a plastic shed, that's where we're keeping our stuff. But
okay,
snow blower.
it would be, you know, it's another item.
makes sense.
Any comments from the public? Please come to the podium, state your name and address, you have 3 minutes.
That would,
We'd like to thank Paul from WBRW for helping set up the meeting today.
Yay, Paul.
So anyway,
is the public able to make comment right now?
the public can make comments, yeah.
Well, I mean, online. Can they do it online?
If they want, I don't know if anybody's watching. Nobody's on.
No, it's not, that's
For the
not, we don't
public,
have that
we
availability?
are live on WBRW Channel 6. We're also on Google Meet if any department head or would like to join.
Everybody
Most
that's
department
watching
heads
can
are
make a
here.
comment if they choose.
She's good, yeah, it's good, pretty good. I'm gonna log in unanimously.
So again, no action has been taken. There's been no voting at this meeting. This is just an informative workshop meeting. Again, feel free to reach out to the department heads, myself, anyone. If you need any backup on any line item or anything looks quirky, just let us know. If I don't hear anything, I make a motion to adjourn the workshop.
Ordered.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. Thank you all for attending.
All righty then.
Charles is